Peter Obi has stepped up his attempt to shape a new Nigeria. To make this happen, he says he's willing to serve just one 4-year term if required. At a time when this country has so many challenges on its doorstep, the former governor of Anambra State talked about how he intends to make Nigeria great again. If elected president, he would restore stability to this country within 2 years.
God, I beg, do this one for us, even if not once. Even if it is once that Nigerians got it right with good leadership. Got it right with good leadership, even if not once. Even if not 1 week, this man came into power, because there are lots of things that needs to be reformed, especially INEC. You see this INEC? INEC is supposed to be independent. The way the chairman of INEC is supposed to be put in place or in office is not supposed to be by appointment. It is supposed to be by elect. There are lots of reforms that should go on in this country. Even the way the chief judge of this Nigeria is being put into power is supposed to be reformed, because the way it is going right now in Nigeria is that the key positions in this Nigeria is under the influence, direct influence of the president of Nigeria, which is not supposed to be so. If we want to take away corruption from this Nigeria, we need total overhauling of the system. God, I beg. Even if not this once, you do it for this Nigeria. Do one.
Peter Obi has stepped up his attempt to shape a new Nigeria, declaring his intention to run for president in 2027. But to make this happen, he says he's willing to serve just one 4-year term if required, depending on whatever agreement he reaches with those who support his political ambition. Mr. Obi also refuted speculation that he might contest on a joint ticket with the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as part of an agreement with the opposition coalition. And at a time when this country has so many challenges on its doorstep, the former governor of Anambra State and 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate talked about how he intends to make Nigeria great again. He said that if elected president, he would restore stability to this country within 2 years, insisting that in his first 100 days in office, he would bring order to governance and would prioritize security, education, and pulling people out of poverty. And he said he'd do this by cutting the cost of governance and fighting corruption from day one. He would then channel recovered funds into key critical sectors. So how do we decode these headline-grabbing statements in a country with a long list of politicians who make promises they can't keep? Joined now in the studio by the interim national coordinator of the Obedient Movement Worldwide, Dr. Yunusa Tanko. Dr. Tanko, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's get straight into it.
Good evening, everybody.
Let's get straight into it. He said he would restore stability to this country within 2 years if elected. That may well be beyond what anybody can realistically expect to happen in 24 months. Can you decode that statement for us?
For somebody who within his first term of office have been able to unite Anambarians within a short period of time by making sure the backlog of some of the deficits in governance were taken care of, I think he has proven himself.
Well, Anambra State is a state.
Yes, it's a
Nigeria is a federation.
Of course, because you must have started somewhere to prove your method. That's where you have records of service. And his record has shown clearly that he has shown difference in how he wants to deal with issues.
But do you think it's politically wise to give such a well-defined time span? Because the fear of those who support him is that he's at risk of joining that long list of politicians who make promises they can't keep.
And probably an opportunity for also him to break the jinx of politicians who make promises and fulfill them.
Good point.
Because when you look at the situation, there's so much decay in the system that only 1 or 2 things that you will do as a president, and then it will wipe up a lot of tears in the eyes of people. This is somebody who, even before he is a president, has traveled up to Egypt, going to study how the electricity issues have been salvaged in that country. Even if it's that particular one that he's able to do, he has proved a lot of doubt in Thomas is correct.
Yeah, but the point is that it's not that particular one. It's not one. So when you say stability, when you say that you're going to restore stability within 2 years. I mean, it's an attractive message, but one has to wonder how practical it is, because restoring stability is a broad term. But when you break it down, we're looking at political, economic, and social stability. We're talking about energy stability, electricity, education, health institutions and the health workforce, poverty, agriculture, democracy, etc. I mean, the experts say that will take a long, frenetic time and will require substantial investment. Some estimates are already suggesting that to do this, he will require, I mean, hundreds of billions of dollars. Where is he going to get that kind of money? Or you haven't thought that through?
Do you see me smiling at you?
I see you smiling at me.
Because there's particular indices in this country that unify us. We are divided religious, tribal, and ethnic line for a very long time. For me particular, who I'm from a northern part of this country, and I've seen how the decay in the system have been. I've been a presidential candidate, I've been a chairman of all political parties and all, and I know the historical background of this country. This is an opportunity to unite this particular country, and Peter Obi is a unifier. Let me give you an example. A lot of our brothers and sisters in the southeast feel annihilated and deny the right to put in place leadership. Let's assume now all of us now agree and say, Excellency Peter Obi, take the mantle of leadership. Do you know what that means? It's a single unifying factor that can unite the country within a short period of time. Just that announcement and allowing him or supporting him to become president. Do you know the number of people that would have come back into this economy? Most of the people who have traveled out of the country, both of them are technical academicians. Everybody will want to come back just because he's running for election. 12.5 million Nigerian youth registered to vote. It's a unifying factor. And if he can be able to bring the best of our Nigerians back into the country, I can tell you, he can take care of economic situation, he can deal with the issue of tribal sentiment, he can deal with the issue of religion, he can deal with the issue of lack of education, because this is a man who has been able to bring his own people from the dwelling of 26th position in Y to number 1. It's a practical example. So if he has already done that within a short period of just even 1 year, you do this and put them in a practical form, he has succeeded.
Well, it all sounds brilliant listening to you talking, but the reason I'm asking you this is that people want to have a very clear picture of what he is saying he'll do and how he intends to do it, because they fully intend to hold him to account when and if the time comes. So in a sense, this is a warning to him. Don't make radical promises you can't keep. Don't betray the trust of the people because of the ambition you have to be president. Because people don't want the already bad news in their lives to be magnified if the hope they place in him is torn.
Can you imagine for a single one person, that's Peter Obi, to be in charge of the obedient movement? The most challenging people who are angry for good governance and demanding for good governance are in the obedient movement. They have put up a template. On a continuous basis, they checkmate him, and he's been able to show capacity on that. If he can weather the storm of the younger generation, I don't think he has problem of weathering the storm of the Nigerian situation, because already he has been put onto a test mark. At every point in time, no single presidential candidate, as of today, can withstand to go on a Twitter space and face those Nigerians who are angry. No single one. And he has been able to do it time without number. That shows you that he has the capacity to lead and challenge the status quo. It's an open challenge. If any one of them, including Mr. President, can do that open space, pilot fact is there. Please check on them. Go there and speak to Nigerians. And they will ask you picking questions, something that had to do with their life, and they want concrete answers. So he has been able to give on how and why and what he can do as a person, and he has been able to exemplify himself clearly. We are not supporting anybody. We are supporting somebody who has capacity, credibility, and has intellectual knowledge of what the problems are, and is ready to deal with it headlong.
Right. So just to be clear, he understands what the problems are. He has information about what resources he has available to tackle them, and he's going to attack them as fast as possible. And that is his mindset, and nothing is going to block him or thwart his efforts in getting this agenda through if elected.
Quite all right. Let me give you another example. In Nigeria, we look at leaders and followers. Some look at followers at the level of disdain. I'm talking about somebody who, to me, it's amazing. He went to an Almajiri school. He is from the southeast. He went to the Almajiri school. Not only did he sit with them, he was not even holding them in the, they may be smelling probably anything. No, he went into their toilet to see what their challenges are. And then he built them a toilet. He didn't stay behind and say, no, somebody, some aides, go and look at it and tell me what. No, it was him who went there by himself. This is practical example of compassion and care for the people. For me, that particular day, he redoubled my effort in working with him. And I know a lot of people were interested. A lot of Northerners who were doubting who he is and what he can do showed example. And even today, it may be amazing to you, a team of leaders from an Emirate Council came to give him award, take him a chieftaincy council, even though he doesn't believe in it. But one way or the other, it is show up acceptance. And what did they say? We are happy that you are able to come and build borehole for us. We saw how you invest in entrepreneurship of our young ones in the north. We saw how you go into the Islamic school. We saw how you celebrate Salah with us. That for us shows us that you are a man of compassion. What we want from you is just for you to just take it, keep it even in your archives, but let it be known that we are associating with you. These are clear-cut examples of what he has been able to do. And that's to show you that he can be able to do more if you have the resources. He's not in government and he's doing this. What about if he's in government? So you can put that particular into context.
But at this point, he doesn't know what party he intends to run under in 2027.
Well, in the issue of the party, you can see gladiators, Nigerians, patriotic Nigerians are saying, look, this country is in dire needs of a gladiator, somebody who have that particular capacity to help us midwife into a new era, giving us a new country that all of us will be proud of. We are coming together. Let's salvage this country together. At that point, it has shown clearly there's a purposefulness in what they are doing. And parties will come easily because you have a candidate who, in the political terrain, will play with 6 million votes. Even more than that. As a political party, you will be running after that particular candidate.
But at this point, you and Peter Obi are still members of the Labour Party.
Yes.
You are in the Labour Party yourself.
Yes, I am.
How is the Labour Party? Let me just ask you one quick example, because you are still in the party.
Yeah.
How is the Labour Party planning to take part in this Lagos local government elections?
Well, some of the candidates that were presented by the state are there. And there seems to be a kind of a form of a synergy between all of the candidates and the probably leadership in the state. The idea is to make sure that you present candidates that can win elections. And it's not only in Lagos State, even in the FCT Abuja here, there are candidates that have been put in place. But I want to assure Nigerians that we are putting in the best energy we can put in. And we are warehousing candidates. This time around is going to be credible candidates all over the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And these candidates are being warehoused. You may say probably we are giving out an expo. No, Nigerians want to fight for their countries. And they find interest into the obedient movement and the candidate of Peter Obi. And a lot of them, I can assure you, are coming.